What's up, all you beautiful people? Your boy, the First Slip, in the building. 3 Premier League games to kick us off with a new week of videos. Fantastic little run that we're currently on. Looking like to wrap up the Premier League, hopefully soon. We are well in the lead in the Premier League. We've been doing well. We've played well. We also have potentially a League Cup final to get to. Aston Villa have quite a big deficit to overcome. We're not going to show that game, so I'm just giving you information about that game. So I hope you guys enjoy that. With that being said, leave a comment or two, tell your friends, grandparents, lovers, haters, and everybody else in between. Your boy, the First Slip, is going to run that intro. More Vuvuzela Victory Challenge action coming up for you. 3 Premier League games, like I mentioned earlier. And we have somewhat bounced back from last episode in terms of how we have performed. We're still top of the Premier League, and we have qualified for the next round of the Champions League. We also have a deep run in the FA Cup, as well as the League Cup action pretty coming up soon. Of course, the last 2 games we did lose to Man United and Chelsea. We have been undefeated in the Premier League since then. Only 1 loss and a draw as well since then. We'll start with the Premier League action. Norwich beating them 3-1 quite convincingly, actually. Bottom of the table, Norwich. Also then beat Brighton 5-0 for this one. Constantino was out for a minor knock on this one, so Iglesias had to step in. Then we beat Tottenham 5-1. Constantino came back into the squad and really did shine. A good shout out to Husser picking up a goal in this one as well. And Lamine Yamal and Gutierrez all picking up singles, with Eloquim 2 beautiful headers to get us those 3 points. And that's all happened in the Premier League. In the FA Cup, we beat Brighton 2-0, a rotated squad as I've been using in all cup competitions. We beat them 2-0, and we beat Aston Villa in the first leg 6-2 with this one. Again, the rotated squad with Albrighton, Romero, Vida scoring 2, and Lamine Yamal. I had to bring on some of the bigger guns in the second half, just because tired legs out there. Romero picked up an injury, Hunt picked up an injury, so it wasn't ideal for us in that one. In the Champions League, we did beat drew with AC Milan after they scored in the 96th minute. We scored in the 93rd minute for this one. Martin Gross with a header in that one. And then in the most recent Champions League game, Antoniu picked up a long-term injury, broken hand after the 33rd minute. We were already 2-0 down at that point. Broke his hand. They scored 2 more goals. We pulled 1 back in that effort. And then I did mention the last FA Cup match. We managed to scrape through, beating Nottingham Forest 2-1. They took an early lead at the City Ground, with Kendry Paez scoring the goal. Kendry Paez was a thorn in our side back in the day in Chelsea when we were with Porto. Every time we played Chelsea in the Champions League, he would always pop up with a goal or 2. Today we've got Newcastle, Leeds, and Middlesbrough. I'm going to skip the Aston Villa game because I feel 6-2 is quite a big deficit for them to come back from. So Newcastle, Leeds, and Middlesbrough. Newcastle in 5th position currently. Leeds and Middlesbrough sitting in the mid-table. Middlesbrough more closer to relegation, as it were, in the Premier League. And have a look here. Newcastle fighting for that 4th spot and 3rd spot, really. I mean, between 3rd and 9th, only 6 points separate the team. I'm adding in Aston Villa because they've got 2 games in hand over West Ham and Arsenal. So they could definitely be within the mix when it comes to the top 4. Or top 3, rather. I feel like us and Chelsea have sort of run away with the league a little bit in terms of top 2. And in fact, we've got 2 games in hand over Chelsea, who are 3 points behind us. So we could potentially go 90 points clear this, 9 points, not 90, 9 points clear of the season, and hopefully secure our 2nd Premier League title. One of the games in hand is today. It is going to be that Middlesbrough game on Wednesday. It's moved. to Saturday, so it's not a game in hand. I think the Newcastle game is a game in hand. No, it's not. Okay. Well, there we go. None of the games in hand because Leicester plays today as well, and a couple of games tomorrow. And then Leeds, you can see all those games together. A couple of games in between. So we still will have 2 games in hand after this run. In terms of transfers, we have made 1 transfer during the transfer window. It is still open. There is still a moment. Maybe something will happen. But we have signed a young centre-back in Emery Frederick. Coming in as a rotation option, San Filipino went back home. We only loaned him for 6 months, as well as Ndaye. Both never really stepped up. He's currently a good championship level player. But I think with a little bit of long-term investment in him, I think he could be potentially as good as Gross. We just need to develop him a little bit better. He is currently wanted by Sporting Braga to go on loan. I've rejected one offer for him. And then one player that we signed last season and went on loan back to Racing Club, who didn't land up playing a single game for them, is young Arten Rojas, who has had some Champions League and FA Cup matches under his belt already. Yet to really set the world on fire. Came in as a midfielder in the one game because of injuries that we had. And yeah, he's played all right. He's played all right. I think long-term prospect, he could also be potentially as good as Aloha or Amuda. Speaking of which, this is the starting lineup for Newcastle. We're playing at Anfield. Just a couple of injuries to mention. Amuda out he's back from his injury. He was out for 3 weeks. 45 minutes of action available. We're not going to risk that. The same with Barroso. He has had a long string of injuries in his fight to come back from that moderate one that we had a couple of months ago. He was out for 12 days, then 7 days, then 4 weeks, and then 3 weeks. He has really, really had a tough time in trying to fight back the last 4 or 5 months to get to his fitness. The same can be said for Sam Hunt. He's picked up a couple of minor injuries in trying to get back into full fitness after that 3-month injury, albeit only 4 or 5 days. But he's not been 100% fit to really get into the season this season. And at 30 years old, we might be looking to maybe move him on next season, depending on how things go. And then elsewhere, Hua Xiaobin currently with the Chinese national team in the Asian Cup. So he won't be available for this one. So this is the team. Of course, like I mentioned, Constantinu out for the football seat feature, out for another 4 more weeks. So we're beginning to see a lot more of Xabi Iglesias coming into the Premier League. Like I said, he's played 1 Premier League game, kept a clean sheet, came in on as a sub as the other one. I don't know what. I think that was Champions League. So yeah, he's got a lot to prove today. That means we have brought up as a backup option Roiji Uchida, who has also actually played 1 game for us this season. No, he hasn't. I don't know why it says he's played 1 game. But he is there on the bench, looking raring to go. I think he's played an international game. I think that's what it's up there. But here we go. The team is starting Eloquim, Grass, Yaya Larkin at the back 4, Ferreira, Dixon in the midfield, with Aloha Gutierrez playing on the wings, Romero and Lamine Yamal. Gutierrez has sort of surpassed Vida in terms of form and goal contributions. I mean, Vida 15 assists, you cannot look past that, but Gutierrez's 11 goals and 9 assists really does help a lot. Vida currently on poor form. You can see just on the side, we've got the last 5 games. His last 2 haven't been great, whereas Gutierrez also haven't been great, but he has managed to score in those 2 games. So he does get the nod ahead of everybody else. Let's go to the Newcastle game, and it is at Anfield. We've got 3 games to get through. We're going to start with the first one. And we've got a kick-off highlight to start the game off. Newcastle with the kick-off, playing from left to right towards the Kop end. They've given the ball away to Romero, Gutierrez, Larkin. We've had some good recent form against Newcastle in the past. We've won the last 3 meetings against them, hoping to continue that streak to 4 wins today and keep the pressure up in the Premier League title race. Ferreira to Eloquim, goes to the back post. Gutierrez is there, and that's why we've started him. 1 minute in, and Gutierrez scores a beautiful little header at the back post. A good little pass here. I think it was Ferreira, was it? Or was it Eloquim? I think it was Eloquim with that beautiful little lob saw Gutierrez, had some space, defender didn't realize he was going for the header, and Fran left helpless at the back post there. And there's another kickoff highlight. This game is turning into be a real burner at the moment. Santos to Van Deel. Goes back to Eduardo. Now Steinger, who's proven to be a good wonder kid for them, and they've pulled one back almost instantly. 2 minutes in, it's 1-1. Santos, I've signaled him out before in the past how the good player is. Steinger, a former wonder kid himself. I think he's actually third on the current wonder kid list. But that was a good little finish there from Santos. Left completely open in the box. Eliakim tried to come back and try and cover him. I feel like Gross should have maybe done a better job in marking Santos there. There's another highlight coming in. Within 5 minutes of this game, we've had we're going to have three very good chances to producing goals. What will this one do with Tarasio running forward now for Newcastle? Steiger to Souza. Van Deel gives it away. Dixon wins it back in our half. Yaya goes back to Iglesias, who's really got big shoes to fill in today. Eliakim. Loa. To Ferreira. Romero. Runs through. Nicely done from Romero. Looking for options. Couldn't find. He still has it at his feet. Finds the ball to Lamine Yamal. 27th goal of the season. Lamine had a poor season compared to his previous ones last season. This season, he's really stepped up again. Of course, had that long-term injury last season. This season, he's taking off from where he left off. And a beautiful little tap-in finish. Romero with the assist. These two have made such an amazing partnership in Lamine Yamal and Romero. The two of them have really contributed a lot to our massive goal tally that we have scored this season. Newcastle literally throw away possession now to Gutierrez. Romero looking for options, finds Eliakim on the back there. Aloha looking for options, goes to Eliakim. They're playing us back to Gross. Taking his time, goes all the way back to Iglesias, who gives the ball away terribly to Yaya. It was a bad pass. Lars Steinger, easy tap-in finish, just chipped Iglesias. That was a horrible mistake from Iglesias. Oh, he didn't need to go so big and so hard to Yaya. Could have taken his time, control the ball. Instead, decided just to boot it and given Steiger an opportunity for Newcastle to pull us back yet again. 2-2 as we move towards the 20th minute mark. It's remarkable to see something like this high-scoring game early on. Don't really like to see that if it's not us scoring all the goals. But I mean, this is great for the neutrals. It really is. And it does mean Newcastle with their draw could move into third place. Of course, definitely looking for a victory, Newcastle, against us. We're looking for a victory to try and stay ahead of Chelsea. Of course, only 3 points now separate us from Chelsea, although we do have 2 games in hand over them. Eduardo pickpockets Lamine Yamal deep in their half, and they're trying to build it up from the back. Nuarni goes long, can't find the intended man. Eliakim wins it back. Aloha comes inside, looking for options, finds Gutierrez. A simple tap in, probably one of the easiest goals you'll ever score. Fran was well out of possession. 25 minutes in, 5 goals already in this game. Absolutely crazy to watch. Eliakim to Romero. Aloha, I thought, lost opportunity here. He drew Fran out. I mean, I feel like the defender should have done a little bit better. It kind of like bounced off his leg, and it wasn't going at quite a big pace. He could have just swung his leg at that and hopefully clear it out. But alas, they did not. And with that, it means we do now go 6 points clear of Chelsea if the scoreline stays like this. But betting it stays like this is a different story. This match has been all over the place in the first half. It really has. You've got to feel for Newcastle a little bit. They have to come back now for a third time in this one. Half-time, it is 3-2 to Liverpool. We're doing We're doing all right, rather. We're doing okay. More action coming in the second half, I feel. And like the first half, the second half starts with a kick-off highlight. This time, it's us with the kick-off. Lamine Yamal is through on goal. Lamine Yamal. That's all he needs. 15 seconds from the restart. And we've increased our lead by 2. Lamine Yamal has increased his tally by 2. Beautiful little pass here from Dixon to find Romero. And yet again, the provider for the Spanish master in finishing. Lamine Yamal. For some reason, Spain still play him out on the left. I feel he is an absolute dog of a striker at advanced forward. They really need to be playing him there. It does annoy me a little bit that he doesn't get game time at striker for international team, but at least for Liverpool, he's doing a really, really good job. We're going to bring on some subs, some tired legs out there, especially in the final third. The likes of Christian Aloa looking very tired. Rojas to get his Premier League debut. Elsewhere, Gutierrez looking super tired. You know what? You've played well, son. Vida, come on there. And then Dixon on a yellow. Makes me a little bit worried. Or Brighton can come on there and play as the Mazzala. Newcastle trying their best to try and break this Liverpool defense now in the second half. We've been much more tight in the second half. Vida now with the breakaway. Oh, Brighton to Ferreira. Back to Vida. Rojas. Arten Rojas with a debut goal in the Premier League. Of course, got his debut in the Champions League against Chelsea. And he scores in his first ever home game in the Premier League. Arten Rojas, remember the name. 19 years of age. Came 6th in the Wonder Kid list last season. And you know this man has gold written all over him right now with that goal. That is brilliant. Brilliant to see. We've got another throw in here. Lamine Yamal goes back to Yaya. Goes to Gross. Back to Yaya. Looking for options. Larkin. Yaya. Or Brighton. Find a good through ball to Romero. And that was almost number 6. They've brought on our former player in Sacco. Can he be the difference maker? Can he find 3 goals for Newcastle? I doubt it as the clock ticks away. Newcastle have really been outshone in the second half. They really, really struggled to stay afloat. And as the time runs out, the game is going to end 5-2. Convincing victory for us. Lamine Yamal, Gutierrez with 2 goals each. Rojas picked up a nice little victory there, goal, just to mark his Premier League debut, his home debut as well. Fantastic little result from us there. Right, we've got the Aston Villa Cup game to play. We're going to play that off camera. We're coming back for Leeds in the next game in the Premier League. It's only 4 days away. We'll come back for that. Rest up some players. Come back for that. Guys, we're back for some Leeds action. We made it through in the League Cup all by the skin of our teeth, really. Clicked the wrong button. Here we go. We lost the game 5-2, but we go through 9-8 on aggregate. Yeah, Rojas picked up another goal. Husser also picked up a goal, but we were just... we were really, really poor. It was the rotator team as always, but geez, we struggled in this game. I even brought on Lamine Yamal and Romero to replace Husser and Sam Hunt, and the two of them just couldn't do anything in this game. Gutierrez even came on as well. Dixon and Hillequim made some big subs and just nothing in this game. But we're through. We're taking on Man City in the next video, of course. We'll do that with the 2 Champions League. But now we've got Leeds and Middlesbrough coming up. Leeds, their first game. We're going... Are they still at Ellen Road? They're still at Ellen Road. Iconic stadium indeed. Going to them, of course, they've got Ayid Abdul Karim. We know all about him. The England international. 13 caps for England. 12 goals. Definitely somebody we need to keep an eye out. This is the team that is starting for us. Iglesias in goals, of course. Constantino is still injured. Hillequim, Gross, Smart, Larkin, Ferreira, Dixon, Amuda, Gutierrez, Romero, and Lamine Yamal. Yaya just needs a little bit of a rest. He played a couple of games in between, so needs a little bit more of a rest. San Roman also will bring on Brun just on the bench. Big game here. Let's take on Leeds at Ellen Road. And we start off on 10 minutes into the game. Amuda running down the wing, looking for Lamine Yamal at the back post. Couldn't find him. Finds Gutierrez instead to Dixon. Takes the shot, and the keeper pushed it onto the crossbar. And Leeds living a little bit on borrowed time at the moment because we've been dominating this game. Another opportunity here with a free kick. Lamine Yamal short to Ferreira. Finds Hillequim. Trying to sneak that through. Serna with a good little save there. Stayed alert to find the little shenanigans free kick. Ferreira, Ferreira, no, I mean, Lamine Yamal looking for Ilequim, couldn't find the header. Ball's recycled though. Gutierrez with the one-time shot. Good defending. Ilequim picks that up. And that is that. Sun Ju Hu to Mirabat. Udezi finds Jose Luis. And they're pushing nicely, Leeds United. They're trying to find a bit of a gap in the defense. They couldn't find it there with Ferreira pickpocketing Udezi. Romero through. Got Lamine Yamal. You know Lamine's going to score that at any opportunity. 29th goal of the season. He has been absolutely devastating when it comes to the front line, Lamine Yamal. And a beautiful little pass here from Romero. Yet again, these two connecting. And what a finish from Lamine. Beautiful, beautiful. That is just pure placement. Not even power. That is just placement. He picked the right shot, picked the right pass, stayed onside. And Lamine Yamal did the rest there. That is just chef kiss good finishing from Lamine. We've got another opportunity. Lamine stepping over the free kick. Goes wide to Romero this time. Takes the shots and hits the crossbar. Oh, we're loving these shenanigan free kicks at the moment. Here's another opportunity. Lamine. Is he going to try and cross it this time? He doesn't. Go short again. This time to Smart. An easy save from Serna there. These free kicks are very interesting tactic that we've employed here today. Most of our free kicks are just direct launch into the box and look for Ilequim or Grass, but I'm not sure why they're playing the short passing thing here. Sonju gets the clearance, but couldn't find his own man, Thiago Ferreira. Serna should have done better. It was straight at him, literally through his hands. A little bit of miscommunication in the defense there caused Ferreira to have a brilliant opportunity. I mean, that was a very interesting header from Sun Ju to give it straight down the throat of Ferreira. It's 2-0. We're looking good. We're looking comfortable. Of course, Smart getting a first proper start in the Premier League. Yaya has been on such good form in the league, but he's given the chance there away. That was Gross who gave the ball away. Awad now coming to looking for Mark Gayu, and Mark Gayu puts a ball in the back of the net. Leeds are on the score sheet and are looking to hunt us down in the first half. 2-1. A good little pass there from Gayu to pick up Awad. He did a lot to try and outfool Ilequim, and the header, I mean, he rose above two players there. That is a fantastical header from Mark Gayu. There's going to be more action, though, before the end of the half, with Dixon now pushing the ball forward, looking for Amuda. He's been on a little bit of poor form since coming back from his injury. Amuda to Lamine Yamal. Poor form or not, that is just a brilliant pass across to Lamine. He scored his 30th goal of the season. He gets a goal bonus now. Sun Ju Ho trying to do the tackle. Amuda was like, nah, I've got this. And then the low cross in there. Everybody missed it except, yeah, boy, Lamine Yamal with the finish. 3-1, order restored in the 2-goal lead. We're looking good in this game. We're looking good. Second half underway. No subs from us. Just a good, solid team talk. Ilequim with a header over the top. Leeds have made a swap. Sinju Ho has come off. He was having a horrible 5.8 in his displays at halftime. Has come off. He has been a bit of a question mark in the defense today. Can maybe contribute 2 of the goals to his mistakes. Ilequim to Amuda. Couldn't get the ball from out of his feet there. Awad now has opportunity for Leeds. Torsto, the substitute, comes on. Ilequim eloquently does that. And Lamine Yamal now on the counter-attack. He's got Romero up in the box with support. He finds Dixon on the back edge of the post. Gutierrez on the post. Gutierrez with the 14th goal of the season. Jose Antonio Gutierrez, the Spanish wonder kid, 20 years of age, and just pulled off that blinder of a shot. A good pullback from Dixon to pick him up. He still had a lot to do. Lamine almost got in his way, but Gutierrez had only one thing on his mind, and that is making it 4-1 to Liverpool. And I think this game is pretty much done and dusted at the moment. But is it? Corner. Pereira to Lamine. To find Romero. Good, solid challenge, but referee says that's a penalty. Lamine will step up for this one. It is going to be his hat-trick penalty. We've got the instruction that if they're on a hat-trick, they can take a penalty. Lamine, a regular penalty kick taker, and he missed it. Good, easy save from Sir. Now, I was going to say, a regular penalty kick taker is Ferreira. Lamine stepped up because he was on a hat-trick, and he's missed the opportunity to score that hat-trick. But there is still chance for him to get that hat-trick. As we move the ball from the back, Smart picks up Ferreira. Romero, good ball through to Lamine Yamal. Shades of the first goal, shades of the second goal, shades of the third goal for Lamine Yamal. Hat-trick hero. That was just another pinpoint pass from Romero. Doesn't score many lately, but his passing is just absolutely insane. And I don't think Lamine could have as many goals as he's had if it hadn't been for Romero's passing. He has been absolutely fantastic. Lamine Yamal gets his hat-trick. We can now rest him for that Middlesbrough game. That's all I wanted. I want to take him off. I want to give Sam Hunt a little bit more opportunities up front to try and get back to that form. Standing ovation for Lamine. Elsewhere, Drew Dixon looking a little bit tired. We'll bring on Albrighton. And you know what? We'll give a Premier League debut for Frederick here. Our new Liverpool player was cup tied, of course, couldn't play against Villa, but he can have a run today with those. Eloquim also looking super tired. I don't really have a right back to bring on. We can bring Frederick. You know, I'll let Eloquim just run the course. We'll give him a rest for the next game. San Roman can play against Middlesbrough. But here we go. Larkin, Hunt, Smart. It's also the first time we've started two English centre-backs as a pairing in Smart and Frederick together now. Playing together. Two young English prospects. Hunt through on goal, pulls it back to Gutierrez, who's already scored one. Hunt, though, gets his second goal of the season. It has been that bad for him, but he's managed to pull one in. His second goal of the season, 6-1 now, and we are really bolstering this scoreline to a little bit of an embarrassment for Leeds at Ellen Road, but a good little tap in from Hunt. Hoey and Cerner left a little bit dumbfounded with that one. The substitute coming in there, Hoey not being able to stop the surgence that is Liverpool. I mean, we're making it, we want to hit 100 goal difference by the end of the season. I feel like that is a realistic task considering how many goals we have scored already this season. Hunt now to try and push forward for number 7 as Smart moves back to Gutierrez. Larkin, Gutierrez, these two have got such a good understanding already. Smart back to Gutierrez. Albrighton looking for Larkin. Trying to find Hunt there with an ambitious little pass. Gutierrez, though, picked up the reading of the header. Ferreira to Amudo. Switched the play now to the right-hand side. Ferreira going back to Frederick. Looking for options, goes over the top to Romero, brings it in for Hunt. That could have been his second. He really should have hit the target there. He really just should have headed down to the corner and gets number 7. But I'm still happy with the result. 6-1, fantastic result against Leeds. We really outplayed them in all aspects of the game. Fantastic result. Love to see it. We've got one more game. We've got Middlesbrough coming up in just a few days' time. We are now sitting 9 points ahead of Chelsea. Of course, Chelsea are playing a little bit later. We could drop to 6 again, but we're looking good in the Premier League at least. We're back, ladies and gents, for the Middlesbrough game at Anfield. Just some injury news. Vida out with a cold, out for 3 days. So does mean Shalbin comes in on the bench. And then Yaya comes back to his starting lineup again with Gross. Ilequem is fit enough to play this game, so he will start ahead of San Roman. I did say San Roman is going to play, but I want my strongest possible team. Iglesias in goals, Ilequem, Gross, Yaya, Larkin, Ferreira, Dixon, Amuda, Gutierrez, Romero, and Lamine Yamal. Barroso comes on the bench. He is fit once again to start. I'm going to start him on the bench because Romero has just produced so many good assists for Lamine Yamal. And we're going to see how it goes with him up front. You can see, to have a quick look, I was going to point this out the previous game, but I thought I'll do it now. In terms of goals, 31 from Lamine Yamal, 18 from Romero, 14 from Gutierrez, 14 from Barroso, 13 from Ferreira, 8 from Gross, 7 from Vida, 7 from Ilequem, 7 from Amuda, 6 from Yaya, 5 from Dixon. And then you got a lower for Husa 3. We've literally had a goal scored from every single player except Burrows, Falconbridge, Frederick, Brunn, obviously our goalkeepers, and San Roman. Those are all the players that have at least contributed goal-wise to us. So it is a huge little list. We're taking on Middlesbrough. Let's go to Anfield. Well, we're 20 minutes into the game. Nothing has happened. Not a single highlight in this game. We get the first thing now in 25 minutes. Middlesbrough languishing near the bottom of the table. Another little shenanigans free kick. Dixon finds himself with some space. He has to go back, though, because they've covered up their lines quite nicely. Ilequim trying to bring it in, trying to do something, can't find something. Gross to Dixon with a long-range effort. Oh, Drew Dixon. That was spectacular. Another short free kick, though. Is this something new we try? Like, I need to actually go check that. Maybe the set-piece coach decided to change things up there. I do have shared stuff on the set-piece stuff, but that was just a brutal finish from Dixon. That's the type of finish that wins you championships. Of course, Chelsea did drop points in their last game, which does mean now with this win, we are currently sitting 12 points ahead. Chelsea do play a little bit later on against Bournemouth. If we can get Bournemouth to get a victory, that means we could potentially wrap up the season by the beginning of March, which would be an amazing feat for us come, of course, the Premier League and how good we've been this season. Really, really making a statement in our attempt for cup competition. Ono now with Middlesbrough playing out from the back, looking for options, looking to try and pass the ball around. Traore's touch not good enough. Ilequim read that nicely. Ferreira plays back to Gross. He's going to go back to Ilequim, back to Ferreira. Good little passing play. Traore makes up for his earlier mistakes now. Middlesbrough pulling through. Boomsong finds Traore, who started the whole move. Papa Alune Traore scores the goal. His first goal in Middlesbrough's shirt. Is it going to count? It is going to count. I did think it was onside. Katlavia, yeah, with a good little pass to Boomsong. Finds Traore with a lot of little space there, and he made it work. Iglesias maybe should have done better in trying to make this save there. He closed his lines, but didn't close well. You could see he was well onside. Not sure why they needed a VAR for that one, but Middlesbrough have picked us back just before the half. Not looking great. I'm going to shout at the players. They must do better for the second half. And the second half starts off with a Larkin throw-in. Yaya. Back to Larkin. Looking to bring it into the middle. Finding Amuda, but not the best pass. But we managed to keep possession from the clearance. Amuda now tries again, and he gives it away this time. This time, Yaya wins possession back. Switching play to the left-hand side. Maybe we get a bit more luck here with Gutierrez having some space to try and get the cross in. He gets it in eventually. Looking for Amuda, who makes up for his earlier mistakes with his 8th goal of the season. Lautaro Amuda, the 31-year-old Argentinian legend for this club, a legendary player, filling in the shoes of the former greats of Argentinians like the likes of Diego Maradona and Lionel Messi. Lautaro Amuda is one of them that will go down in the history books of one of the greatest players of all time. And he showed up there why he is one of the greatest of all time. Amuda now with the corner, looking for Ilequim at the near post. Great save from the keeper from Ono. And a second great little save there for the Middlesbrough goalkeeper. Ono really stepping up at the moment. We're going to go with the long throw from Ilequim. Goes looking for Grass. Not the best throw, but he still manages to get back possession. Trying to bring it in. Takes the shot. Well over the top in the end from Ilequim. A good little build-up play there. One last little highlight before I was going to make some swaps. Again, the short pass to Romero. Dixon hits the crossbar this time. Oh, this little short corner routine thing, this free kick routine is getting a little bit of notoriety, I think, eh? Let's make that swap. Lamine not playing great. We're going to bring on Barroso. Just swap him and Romero around. Elsewhere, Ferreira not playing great. Mooney can step. You know what? Mooney won't play Mooney in their position. Zhao Ben's more of a Mazzala. I don't want to take off Dixon at the moment. Just the two swaps for now. Barroso with the free kick. This time he goes for goal. And it hits just over the top. Barroso, first game in quite some time, looking to recapture that 14-goal scored tally that he wants to add to it, is the words I'm looking for. I lost the words there. Let's make some more swaps here. Gutierrez looking a little bit tired. We'll bring on Zhao Bin to play there. Elsewhere, I'm going to take Romero for Sam Hunt. And you know what? Eloquim can finally get a little bit of a rest. San Roman come in there. Of course, we've got Manchester City in a few days' time. That's our game in hand over Chelsea. We then have Man City again in the League Cup final, which we will show on video. So big games coming up. Got to look to keep our players as fresh as possible. Dixon to Yaya. Playing from the back now. Again, Dixon to Larkin. Good little pass by Zhao Bin. Hasn't played much on the left-hand side of the season. Been using him more as a Mazzala, but with the injury to Vida, he needs to step up and take that leap onto that left-hand side. Has scored a goal from that left-hand side. Barroso, though, scores a goal from an assist from Zhao Bin. A beautiful little header. What a way to make your reintroduction into the squad with a beautiful, beautiful cross here from Zhao Bin. Both players making a reintroduction into the squad. Zhao Bin was away with the Chinese national team. Barroso out with an injury. That was just beautiful. Just beautiful to watch there. 3-1 up. We're looking good. Feel like this game could be done and dusted. We will stay top of the table for the time being. 12 points clear of Chelsea. That is all you want to see. There we go. Dominated the game. Lautaro Amuda, man of the match. Fantastic goal from him. I think Dixon's goal would have earned him man of the match. That was just a brilliant strike from him. And of course, Barroso added the little cherry on the top and helped us get that second goal. And now Barroso's out for 7 days with a twisted knee. This man just can't take a break. All right, guys. Well, we're coming back for that Man City game against them in the League Cup final. We're going to skip the one Man City game, going for the second one. And then we do the 2 Champions League games. I don't know who we're playing yet. We'll find out together. Well, I can't ask for more than that. 3 wins from 3 Premier League games. Yes, the Aston Villa game was... Ooh, that was... Yeah, I clinched a little bit there. I won't lie. But we're through to the final, taking on Manchester City in the League Cup final. It is another trophy I want to add to my list. It's not my priority trophy, but it is something I want to add to that list. You can catch that next video. For now, though, leave a comment or two. Tell me what you think of everything. Tell me what you think of the Vuvuzela Victory Challenge so far. Hit subscribe, get notified, leave the thumbs up. Your boy, the Vaslap, is out of here. Peace and chicken grease.